With that, let's bring out our co-host Garrett Lynch. What's going on?
What's going on, Michael?
Yeah, so I got a nice topic for you, Garrett. Right? So because we're trying to buy, we're trying to sell. And the question I have for you that you're not going to feel strongly about is when is it okay, Garrett, to retrade?
Yeah, so this is a really good topic because you're seeing all kinds of silly stuff going on right now. Interest rates are rising, so prices are shifting downward in a lot of senses. And so what's happening is you're getting a deal, putting it under contract, either on the buy or sell side, and then pricing isn't necessarily where it was when you started. Okay. Well, I take the position where I've never actually retraded a deal once it's gone under contract. I put up earnest money, agreed on a price. Um, and so when is it okay? In my mind, it's never okay because you agreed to that. You're trying to hold this for the long term. So, or more often than not. Now, some people want to get testy with it and they think they can, if you're selling a deal to them, they want to try to retrade you because the market's shifted and it's changed and this and that. But at that point, it's really just about the position of the seller. If the property is worth less, yeah, okay, great. So what? Maybe I want to hold this long term now and not sell it at this exact time. It doesn't. It's really at that point. It's in my mind. If a retrade happens, it's kind of a reputational risk. If someone's doing it to me, I feel poorly because they signed it up. They put money on a price that is sitting on a contract. You agreed at the price, and now you're going back on your word. And I think that's BS. All the things were set up on the sell side for you to, you have to exit. There's people that need to get paid a certain amount or whatever it is. I think a retrade, even in this market, is unacceptable. And it really bothers me that it's happening in different forms, including to us at this time. And it's not something that I value the opposite of that. So for me, it's kind of an inexcusable thing. When is it okay to retrade? Probably if there was something that the seller was hiding from you, like a bunch of down units that they didn't come out with and say, hey, this is there and it's a really expensive situation. I'd say that's about the only time that it's acceptable to retrade, in my opinion.
And it feels like it's more acceptable over the last 3 months than ever before. And like you said before, it was a giant no-no because of the reputation. And brokers didn't want to work with buyers who would retrade because they're non-committal. They want buyers who will follow through and close. And so retrading is a form of not closing, basically wasting everybody's time. It's like, you get a contractor, and you get a bunch of bids, and then, low bid gets it, and then they change order your death and it's never ending. That's kind of what a retrade is like. And those are awful. Having gone through that are awful. And afterwards, no one actually wants to do business with you anymore. And now, for some reason, it's becoming more acceptable. And I'm with you. I don't think as acceptable as either, unless there's something material that could not have been known beforehand. And like rising interest rates to me is a known. It's not like a big surprise. Oh, we'll see. I wonder, oh my gosh, interest rates went up. Well, I didn't see that coming. Right. And so in my mind, it's even unacceptable in this environment. The only exception to me really would be, and there was a blip for a period of time where LTV from lenders really collapsed, or right after COVID, if you remember, bridge lending went away. And that was so severe that it couldn't even retrade. Deals simply just died on the vine because no one could retrade at any price. So maybe there's a spectrum in there. Maybe. But I'm with you, man. I'm with you, especially that retrading. So my advice, I'm with Garrett on this. Try not to retrade because it will ruin your reputation.
And also one more thing. Think about this. If you go to buy a deal and you put it under contract for half the value that it's really worth, and it's just you got a really amazing deal as a buyer. Well, the seller can't retrade you the other way. They can't say, now I want 100 a door instead of 50 because it's worth 100. Legally, they can't do that. They'll be sued. So it's not acceptable legally to go in the other direction. Why should it be acceptable going backwards when you only have a 60-day window to close? I mean, it's a big no-no in my book. And, it's just something that really irks me.
Yeah, it's super irritating when you're the seller, and it will ruin your reputation if you're the one doing it as well. So be very cautious, very, very cautious of that.